are now tuned in to my main man Dubs. If you want that garbage, go somewhere else. If you want that music that matters, he came to the right spot. Hey Dub, talk to him.
This is not for the weak-hearted. Ever since the beat started, the flow switched up from...
Fourth man's coming up to hit the ball. Now he proved, with a worthy opponent, that some say, oh, wait a minute, not this guy. He's not an Instagram champion.
You are a boxing. No, you are saying Linares is a boxing guy.
Let me finish.
I told you I was doing a bunch of
His skills, hold up. His skills, listen.
I just want to give that guy a worthy opponent. Who did he beat? We don't know anybody that Fonseca beat. He did. He won it.
You gotta understand what I'm trying to say.
But Ryan wants to know what makes Fonseca a worthy opponent.
With him, listen. What makes a worthy opponent? What are you talking about? He's definitely not an opponent. He's a champion.
Is he better than any opponent that Ryan Garcia has had on his resume?
Who that?
Him.
Of course.
Okay, let's make the fight happen. Stop talking.
But now
and send over an offer.
But guess what? Now it's time.
No more talking. Send over an offer. Let's make it happen.
Before it was just talk. Now it's time. Did you see what just happened tonight?
Sis.
Who did he fight?
Make it seem like this guy was somebody that nobody knew, like some smart.
Hey, listen.
Hey, Behan, you're a legend. You're a legend. I know what you know. I know that you know.
The point is, do you see talent?
Of course, I know that he has talent. I knew Ryan before. I knew Ryan before everybody knew Ryan.
That's right.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Through the amateur and all that, y'all know each other. Is Ryan Garcia is a worthy conversation today, boxing 2020, as one of the primary guys in your weight division. That's like.
He is a
superstar.
I think Ryan is a star for sure. But Fonseca wasn't a worthy opponent. Fonseca hasn't beat anybody. He lost to Tevin Farmer and he lost to Tank Davis. That's the only fights we know him for.
Let me ask you a question. So you're saying to beat you, he would get that approval?
He would never beat me.
So he got to beat somebody like you.
He wouldn't
get that approval.
All right, let's make the fight happen and then listen.
So that's why we needed this fight. That's why we needed this conversation.
Mr. Hopkins, why not Devin Haney next? Why not Devin Haney next? You're a boxing guy.
Yeah.
Why did you name me last? Why did he say that he'll fight everybody? Luke Campbell, Linares.
You're the best out of all the guys he mentioned.
Thank you.
I agree to that.
Thank you, sir.
Out of the guys he mentioned. That's smart. If I'm him, I would say, look, I want to fight all these guys that's dangerous. I still can't sleep on them. But y'all become the climax. Y'all become the fight to watch. That's the build-up. Everything must have a build-up before it explode.
Let me make an announcement then. We cannot get no fights at 135 from nobody. We will be going to 140.
Well, you can come back down always.
All the time. We're gonna go up to it and we'll come back down when they're ready.
Who do you want at 140?
Serious. Mikey Garcia.
Wow. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. As you guys know, I was listening to an interview with Bernard Hopkins, turned into an interview with Bernard Hopkins and Devin Haney. Then it turned into Bernard Hopkins, Devin Haney, and Devin Haney's father. Okay. This is after the win of Ryan Garcia. Fair play to Ryan Garcia, knocked the guy out first round. Flat on his back, looking like Tyson Fury. And Devin Haney straight up was like, hey, who did Ryan Garcia beat? Send us an offer. We can't get fights. So says Devin Haney's father. We can't get fights at 135, so we're going to 140. And we're calling out Mikey Garcia. Now, Garcia has his own things, and I have to counterpunch that. Mikey has a date with Jesse Vargas. Now, there has been talks, there have been a face-off between him and Mikey Garcia, but back to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, he needs that primary name. They had to counterpunch and pretty much check Bernard Hopkins because Bernard Hopkins was like, trying to, whoa, pump your brakes. Because Devin Haney was saying, hey, who is he beat? Who is that guy beat? Who is the guy that he fought beat? Who did Ryan Garcia beat? And the dude that he beat, who did he beat? No one. Okay, so they want those offers. They wanted the contract sent over. They were tired of talking. If they didn't want that, they can go to 140. And guess what Bernard did? You can come back. Meaning, we're not going to send you an offer. We won't be fighting you right now. It has to be a build-up. You know, it has to be a build-up, a climax, like he mentioned. So in other words, what I take from this, we had aggressiveness versus normal aggressiveness turned passive, which was Bernard Hopkins, because normally Bernard Hopkins is the guy that's passive. He's the guy that talks. He wasn't the one talking. He was doing a lot of listening. He was trying to narrate, but those narrations were interrupted by the aggressiveness from Team Haney. Team Haney, in fact, wants that fight. They want the smoke. They want everybody up there. Devin Haney is turning into a Terrence Crawford in retrospect, but he can't get the fight. So he really looks like Errol Spence a couple years ago, rather. Right? And it's like Bernard Hopkins was not trying to put his 3 million Instagram follower fighter star in there with Devin Haney, because he already knew and he admitted that Devin Haney was better than anybody that Ryan Garcia fought. So guess what? You go to 140 since you can't get fights here because you ain't getting it here with Ryan Garcia, in other words. So go to 140. So when we're ready, yeah, you can come back down. Right? Both young fighters. Devin Haney told him he'll never beat me. Right? That was a good confrontation because, see, this is what needs to be done in the sport of boxing, because it's a lot of interviews with one-sided opinions. Whereas when that interview turns into a two-way interview, that perception changes, and so does that energy from that fighter. So does those words. You know, the responses change. They're not as aggressive if they were by themselves. Okay, this is what we need in the sport of boxing. We need two-way fights. We need two-way contracts. We need two-way opinions, because we need that other person there. Okay, there's a lot of fighters that I want, hey, sitting at this table where I'm at, across from each other, talking their differences. Why can't this fight happen? What's the politics? What's this? What's that? Okay, Counterpunch out of the ring, coming soon. Okay, but Devin Haney's right. Devin Haney's father's right. If they're not progressing up there, they need to move up, because they can do all they can do. Those guys don't want to fight. They want to give him the WBC. They turned him into a Jamal Charlo, okay, at that weight class. But he didn't do what Jamal Charlo done. He didn't want to just take this WBC belt and be happy with that. No, he still wants to fight. He's not skinning and grinning. He's a young, sharp, determined, focused fighter that wants to fight the best fighters. That's who he is. That's what the Zone and those guys are supposed to represent. But we see that there is some resistance. We see that there is no, because they know, besides Canelo, Ryan Garcia, those are the guys over on Golden Boy are the guys that's making that what it is. So if Ryan Garcia goes in there, he goes in there and gets beat up by Devin Haney and gets schooled, like I saw those amateur fights, yeah, then, you know, that cripples Golden Boy, and Golden Boy will not be having it. That's why they strategically pick these fighters that haven't fought anyone. That's my counterpunch on that. It was exciting. I will leave the link below. Shouts out to Seconds Out below, so you guys can check it out in its entirety. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.